welcome to our channel, Doom Productions. We make movies and we make videos about films and filmmaking. And today, we have more of a kind of vlog type of video for you all today. It's something a little bit different. We haven't really done anything like this before, but it was something that I thought that, hey, I want to share this with you all. So, in Portland, Oregon, there is a place called OMSI. OMSI is a pretty big and popular museum, and in OMSI, there is a huge IMAX theater. It's really, really awesome. It is ginormous. It's one of those theaters where if you're sitting in the middle of the stadium seating, you physically have to turn your head to be able to see the entire screen. It's very, very massive, very overwhelming, very, very cool. And every now and then they show movies, and not just like nature documentaries, of course, that's what they usually do year round, but sometimes they'll show Hollywood movies. Sometimes they do special screenings of older movies. I've gone to a couple of anime film festivals there, so I saw like Studio Ghibli movies and Akira there, and a ton of other stuff. And this weekend, they had, or I guess for the past few weeks, they have a Laika exhibit going on in the museum, and they had screenings of all of Laika's movies. If you didn't know, Laika is also in Portland, Oregon. I think most people in Portland are aware of them, and we love them. We love their movies. We love the work they do. So this weekend, my girlfriend and I checked out the exhibit, and then we went to a screening of Coraline that night at the theater. And I wasn't planning on documenting this experience. I just happened to be filming a whole bunch, and I thought, hey, why not show that footage with other people and the people on our channel. I think other folks might find it interesting. So I just wanted to share this experience that I had going to see Coraline and checking out the exhibit at the theater. So the exhibit itself was in a corner of the museum. It wasn't as big as I was expecting, but they had maybe 20 different, I guess you would say, sets from the Laika movies. So you had scenes from Coraline, you had scenes from Paranorman, characters from Box Trolls, characters from Kubo. You had all these little miniatures and sets and little models that were set up as if, you know, they were ready to be photographed and ready to be recorded. And it was really cool to see these things up close. It was fun because you got to see a lot of new details in these sculptures and in these models that you wouldn't necessarily see in the movies. Of course, the movies are very detailed and they are really rich with kind of visuals and textures, but even more so up close and in person. It was really cool because the exhibit was right there next to the theater entrance. So we paid to see the exhibit earlier in the day, but then later that night was when the movie actually started and they screened Coraline. So it was kind of cool to check out the exhibit, then come back later and see it again as you're kind of waiting in line to go into the theater. We got there at the perfect time because when we got there, the line was relatively small. People were just kind of scattered around the exhibit, just kind of looking around. There were maybe 15 people standing around, but then after we ordered our snacks, we got in line and then a huge line formed. People from, I mean, this was a sold out show, so it was pretty packed, or as packed as it could be with the social distancing seating. You could tell that everybody who showed up was a huge fan of Coraline. I don't think there was any person in the audience who hadn't seen Coraline before. I think I counted maybe 6 or 7 different people who came dressed up as Coraline, which is really fun to see. And it was really interesting too because there were maybe, out of everybody, out of this huge theater, out of all these people who showed up, there were maybe 4 or 5 kids who showed up to the theater, to the event, which I thought was really interesting. And I guess it kind of shows the age of the movie because this movie came out in 2009. I was 14 when it came out, but that's like, you know, a long time ago. It's over 10 years. So everyone who was at this theater, I got the impression that they were fans of the movie as kids, and they've now come back to see it on the big screen again. The theater, as always, was massive. It was huge. It was really fun to be in there again because I hadn't been to that theater since before COVID, even, you know, a couple years before COVID. I think the last movie I saw in that theater, gee, that must have been back in 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. So it was really nice getting to be inside that massive theater again. My preferred spot to sit in this theater was in the top 3 rows, and the seating is first come, first serve, and we got there early enough that we were able to sit up there in that good spot. Because if you sit up there, you don't have to look around as much to see the whole screen. You kind of get a nice view of the screen. There's no previews, there's no ads. You know, everybody just showed up, and as soon as we were all seated, they started the movie. And it was really, really fun. Animated movies, and Laika movies in particular, I think those really benefit from seeing on the big screen because they're so full of little details that you would never notice on a television. I guess unless you held your phone really close to your face. At this packed theater, this ginormous screen, it was really cool to be able to see the detail of the world and the artwork that the Laika Studios team was able to put into this movie. It was a really fun movie theater going experience that I've had, probably one of the most fun I've had in years, and having the sets just outside the theater, having the little models be there was a really cool thing that I kind of wish more movies would do. I think that'd be really cool if you had a tour of sorts where you go see a movie at a nice theater and then you also have an exhibit of props or costumes or little character designs from the movie. I think that'd be a really cool thing. But overall, I had a really good time. I know this wasn't really an educational video. I know not everybody's in Portland, Oregon, so you can't all go to this thing. But I just wanted to share this with you all because I thought it was really cool and just highlight Laika Studios and specifically Coraline, which is an awesome, awesome movie. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it and you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe and like button, and I will see you on the next video.